7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You'll never have the sacred stone.
Oh, this you crazy mother.
Guys, so last night we figured out that this VW radio is wired like absolute crap. So we looked around on the old interwebs a little bit and found the interface I actually needed compared to this little guy right here, because the factory radio accessory power will not be retained if you use one of these like little $10 connectors. So you have to hook it straight to power. Well, the remote wire was hooked into the power wire. It ended up looking like a crispy marshmallow. Like that. Because it was, where did it go? Just spliced in with some stripped away some insulation. And it got extremely crispy back there. Throughout the whole car, which, you know, can easily burn the car down. Thank God it didn't. I honestly don't know if this radio right here works or not, but we're not even going to mess with that. Here's all the connectors I took out. They were just basically twisted together and taped. Obviously we're going to do this the right way. Got our soldering iron right here. Access makes these. And they let you retain your factory accessory power on VW. Then there's a multitude of these vehicles that have this functionality. If you replace the radio, other than stock, you're going to need one of these connectors. You can select the radio right here on this part of it. It's all in the manual. It tells you what number to put it on for, you know, whichever radio is going to be controlling it. We're just going to go ahead and get started here. And I know I'm going to do it the right way, so I'm just going to start soldering all these speaker wires from the interface connector to the stock radio harness to the actual radio harness right here. We're going to heat shrink them, solder them. We'll make this all happen. And if everything goes wrong, it just won't work. And I'll just snip out the small connections, which I can show you here. We're only going to have about, you know, a ½ inch of connection here that's soldered. So if we need to snip this out and, you know, fix some stuff, then that won't be a big deal, because as you can see, this whole bundle is going to have about this far to go from radio to interface in the actual car. And we got this much wire, so it'll be plenty if I have to cut some stuff and redo. And we are going to use the old manual here, the instructions. That way we know exactly what year vehicle, you know, we're wiring which wires to where, and which numbers we need to program the little device to. Oh, another thing. This does have a steering wheel control program button. We won't be using that since this VW doesn't have any steering wheel controls. Guess we'll talk to you guys in a little while. We're going to do like a little time lapse and go ahead and get soldering here. Yeah, we're going to make sure that all this works the way it's supposed to before we heat shrink it. As you can see, I'll burn myself again here. All these connections are nice. Gonna look really, really pretty up in there, even though nobody will really ever be able to see it. Soldering is pretty much done. I'm gonna wait on the remote wire because I may not need it, because I don't need to trigger the stock amp in there. But there's an amp in the back that I will need to trigger from the radio. I got some new RCAs and all that stuff to hook up to it too. I just gotta see make sure that this radio is actually going to work when I actually turn the power on, and that the speakers are going to play before I do any more hardcore wiring for this amp in the back that I have no idea if it even works. Alrighty, we'll see you in a minute. What's up, guys? So we hooked this baby up with the interface and everything, and we are retaining accessory power. We realized that, well, apparently 7.5 volts is not enough to power this radio, even with the interface on it. So we'd hook up the old Matco jump box. It's not in a jump start mode or anything. All I did was hook up the clamps, and the little green light came on, which keeps it powered up, kind of like a trickle charger, to about 11.5 volts, which seems to be enough to get this baby working. So now here you go. Show you exactly what's supposed to happen. Radio's off right now. We got the interface all hooked up. There's an LED on it here that comes on. I soldered all the wires. I did not heat shrink them yet, just in case there's a mistake, which I thought happened because the radio came on. I was messing around with the initial settings, date, time, etc., and then it just shut off. And then I realized, man, what happened? Fuse burnout maybe? So I checked the battery. Yeah, sure enough, it was too low. So we're gonna go ahead and kick it on here from the accessory. And car's powering up. Here we go, folks. We got a radio. Not static because I didn't hook up the antenna connector yet, but it seems like we got everything. The fader works actually, and then here's that little LED that comes on, a little red light. Everything seems to be pretty good so far, and the radio powers off when you pull the key out, even with the door open. So the radio will not power off until you take the key out, and there is no draw to the battery now. So step one, success. I want to let you know and give you a couple updates on the rest here in a little while. So we got the amp out of there. It's an Alpine MRD M1005. Looked them up on Crutchfield for some specs, so I know what I'm getting into here. Seems to be a pretty decent amp. Mono amplifier. So we got 700 watts times 1 at 4 ohms, or 1000 watts RMS times 1 at 2 ohms. So now we're going to take out these subwoofers here, my handy dandy screw gun, and we're going to go ahead and check these subwoofer to make sure I know what kind of resistance those are. Dual voice coil, single voice coil. Just want to make sure I'm hooking this up right, since I know nothing about this system at all. But it seems to be coming together pretty well so far. We'll update on our wiring harness. Since it is working, we got it all zip tied together and bundled up. Got the heat shrink all done, nice and tight, sealed. I did leave the remote wire from the radio out of this to make sure I can power the amp, or the remote for the amp, so it'll turn it on. Other than that, she looks pretty dang tidy, nice and straight. I wouldn't suggest zip tying a whole bunch of stuff together unless you know you got all the room that you're gonna need. This will be connected here at the car, and then it'll just come up about like this to the radio, so I really won't need a whole lot of space, probably a couple inches or so. And that zip tie is not very tight. So far we're looking pretty successful. We'll go take apart these speakers, and then we'll give you an update after we're done with that. Alrighty, we're about in the final stages. New coax, because the other one's sticky and disgusting. It's got some weird green stuff down in the plugs. Got the amp and everything wired. I don't have the fuse in it or the battery hooked up at the moment. That's next, so we're pretty much in the final stages here of seeing if this is gonna work. I mean, who knows, the amp might not even come on when I plug it all in. But when I'm done, I want to be done. And if all I have to do is replace an amp, so be it, then I'll replace an amp. Everything else will already be done anyways. Well, so we'll go ahead and show you real quick what we got going on here. So right now, we got the amp here, pretty much set down. We got these wired in parallel, so they'll be down to 2 ohms. The amp's 2 ohm stable, so hopefully that works. I'm gonna leave the previous installer's ground back there. If you can see that, maybe right there by the headlight bracket, and then everything else seems like it's gonna be going pretty good. But we'll see what happens. Here goes nothing. We'll give you a good update when we get it all fired up. Alrighty, so we got everything hooked up. Everything's back there, ready to go. Put the fuse in for the power for the amp wire. No smoke yet. Got everything connected up here. I just ran my remote and my RCAs across the seats for now, because I want to make sure everything's going to work. But here it goes. I'm about to kick this baby on, and we'll probably try to connect to this thing via Bluetooth and with the phone, and see where we go from there. And we got power. Oh god, that scared me. Okay. So far, we got radio power on. Change the source here. The amp seems to be on. There's a blue light back there. I don't know if you can see that. Let's go see if there's some kind of static coming out of the subwoofers from that radio. Might be kind of dark over here, so. But the amp is on. 11 volts. Let's see what she gets here. At least we can make some little bit of noise till we get this battery all good to go and charged up. Well, so the Bluetooth seems to be working. Did say connected to S9 Plus. Let's see what we get here. Go to the menu real quick. Seems as though we have some sort of functionality. Gotta put the subwoofer on, so it definitely sees that already. And we have what we need. Oh no. Oh, there we go. And we're trying to find a specific tune here that we listened to the other day. Seems to be working pretty good, because I got the garage door closed and it's definitely rattling the door. It definitely hits pretty good. Alright, so audio installation successful for today. Alrighty. We're gonna get you guys some more cars and coffee video after this little after the video from this little adventure as well. So for now, we'll see you later, and I'm gonna get this all buttoned up and see what it looks like, and not drive the car because it has no suspension. So I'm definitely gonna be getting motivated to finish this thing up here in the next few weeks, just because now I have, you know, a decent radio to set up and kind of play with. So it'll be a lot more motivation to kind of get it buttoned up and ready to go, so I can drive it and bump a little bit, take it to some car meets, and let people see what I got. See you later, guys. Bye.